when you fail over and over, I mean, it can get demotivating. So I can definitely see where this question has substance. It's very hard to stay motivated, especially when you had multiple failures in the same venture over and over. I can use a good example of that though, because I failed probably at, say, and my partners would probably agree with this today, but we've probably failed over 15 times, I want to say, and conservatively saying 15 times at Secret Entourage. I mean, we were trying to bring a brand to life that people hadn't heard of, obviously being a new brand. We were trying to bring a concept to life people hadn't heard of. We were trying to do something that was looked at with much skepticism and people didn't like it to begin with, or didn't understand it, or we didn't even present it correctly. We had branding issues, we had quality control issues, we had identity issues. We didn't even know who we were or what we were trying to do. I think we're just doing shit, throwing shit at the wall and seeing if it was gonna stick. Like, there were so many failures, and I would say that it was an easy journey to just kind of walk away from. It wasn't something difficult to say, you know what, I don't care for it, I don't want to do it anymore, I want to do something, I want to keep doing what I was doing that was making money and that was being more entertaining and fun for my life. But instead, I think I chose a very, very different path. I chose that what I wanted to do was create an impact on society, help educate people, and I also chose that I wanted to change the way people think, and I wanted to be ahead of the curve. And I knew that being ahead of the curve meant that I needed, under every circumstance, to make sure that we stuck to it until we got to a point where we were very happy with the delivery of our message. I think with us, because we were obviously, we're an information brand, we give and sell information. It's very easy for us to lose sight of our brand identity because there's so much information you can give, there's so much you can sell, and there's so many little rules that come around information, what's free and what do you charge for. And I think it was a difficult journey, but we knew what we wanted. We knew what we were doing wasn't something that wasn't accepted, but rather ahead of its time. We knew that a new generation would want more information and would want it in a fashionable way that had entertainment value to it. We knew how Gen Y thought because a few of us were from the Gen Y era. And even though we didn't necessarily fit the Gen Y model, we understood well what the Gen Y era did and why it did it. So, you know, being involved in our own demographic and being involved in our own audience made it easy to understand what it is in the long term we're fighting for. Now, that said, I think you've heard many times in videos people say passion is what you need, because at the end of the day, you know, it's hard, and without that passion, you're gonna give up. I mean, Steve Jobs said it, many people in our Secret Entourage Academy said it, but you know, passion's not all there is, right? There's just this belief part too. Like, you have to believe that what you're doing is greater than the criticism you're receiving. So that doesn't mean you shouldn't take feedback and act on it when appropriate, but you should understand that criticism, no matter how hard or strong, doesn't need to have an emotional reaction to it, because you have to believe in the core product or in the core of what you're doing enough to know that you only have to tweak the delivery until you get somewhere where you're, you know, excited. But the things I would hang on to, you know, to answer the question, you know, find that ticker, find what it is that you wanted originally, like that vision of what the brand could be. And make that your motivational factor rather than an external force like a car, money, or anything else, because those things change. Money doesn't come sometimes. You might buy stuff and then find out that 5 months later you can afford to keep them, and you don't want to do something that makes you dependent upon an external source for your motivational needs. You know, like, we're all human beings, we need motivation to remain consistent, and for that motivation to occur, you need to find something that stays constant. And while, you know, the goal and the final product of your brand may not be constant yet, that image can certainly be a constant that remains in your head. And so as a result of that image, it needs to become that ticker for you that keeps you going during the hard times, keeps you together when things go bad, you know, or things are not done fairly, you know, whatever it is. Like, just think about that as the core of what keeps you motivated rather than an external factor. And I think in the end, if you really believe in what that vision is, if you really believe in that image you're seeing, then you'll get reminded and emotionally connected to that image rather than the criticism that comes your way.